Fight fans, it's Capital Combat. The name says it all. I'm Rob Jarrell, and this is a recap to two under the radar fights. Maybe not so much, depends on if you follow these fighters or if you follow Golden Boy. But two under the radar fights that happened over the past week or so. Last night, JoJo Diaz with Golden Boy Promotions took on Jesus Rojas for the 126-pound WBA title. We'll get into that. And last Friday, if I'm not mistaken, or last Thursday, Tevin Farmer took on Billy Dibb for the 130-pound IBF title, IBF junior lightweight title, or super featherweight, however you want to say it. So we're going to get on with it. We're going to start off with the Tevin Farmer versus Billy Dibb fight. Tevin Farmer out of Philadelphia has pretty much been playing his trade for a while. He's very skilled, very few knockouts. But in his last fight, he lost to, and I don't even know, it was a guy out of Japan. And I can tell you in 1 second, I know y'all probably hate when I got my computer right here, but because my memory is terrible, Kenichi Ogawa. And that was for the IBF World Super Featherweight title. He plowed his trade. It was a very close fight. I thought he did enough to win, but Kenichi Ogawa actually took the win to start off with. Then it was changed to a no contest after Ogawa got popped for, I believe, some form of performance-enhancing drug. That's neither here nor there. So we come back, and Tevin Farmer takes on the veteran Billy Dibb out of Australia. He had an IBF title at 126. He moved up. His career has been kind of up and down. With Billy Dibb, I know he had faced a few guys. His losses were to Takashi Miura. No problem with that. Evgeny Gradovic, that was a TKO loss. He lost him twice, actually. And he had been under Mayweather Promotions. So he's a fairly durable guy, but when he's pretty much stepped up to his best competition, he really hasn't been able to get the win. But in this fight, I thought Tevin Farmer just totally outclassed him. And if you follow any kind of Philadelphia fighter or any fighter from Philadelphia, the coaches, the culture in Philadelphia, they teach you all the little nuances of boxing that you don't maybe get to see in other places. As far as positioning, pinpoint punching, what to do in certain situations, movement, and that's what Tevin Farmer showed here. Tevin Farmer, who actually had 4 losses in his career, aside from the one no contest, but most of them were early in his career to Jose Pedraza, which was a big one, and there were 2 other undefeated prospects, and he's beaten Ivan Redkach and Gamil Diaz and Arturo Santos. Tough guys, but he's been looking to take that next step up. And in this, he really showed a real array of his skills. Billy Dibb pretty much was trying to get on the inside of Farmer, high guard, and try to push him back and really rough Farmer up. But what Farmer did from that southpaw stance, he used his jab and movement well, but he would change the game plan up as the fight wore along. When Billy Dibb would get on the outside, he wouldn't get hit really cleanly. He would maintain a certain distance and create space with his arms and work the body really well. He's not a knockout artist, but he's a solid puncher. You know he hits you, and it can really back you up. And he will move to his right really well and throw a right hand. And Billy Dibb, who had that high guard, anytime he opened up, he would get countered with the right hook. And then Billy Dibb would be made to miss, and Tevin Farmer would come right back with the right hook. And his body work was great, especially on the inside. What he would do, other than hold a position with his arm and throwing under Billy Dibb, who didn't really keep his elbows tight, he would also position him. So Tevin Farmer, instead of always locking up, or when he did lock up, he would move Billy Dib against the ropes or in a position to throw a punch on the inside. And he pretty much worked them from the outside. Now, granted, he didn't land anything that would knock Dib out, but he did knock him down. And he made Dib pay quite a bit. And then when Dib would back up or he would just fall into that high guard, he would throw very hard shots. He would find those openings, jab, throw the left instead of throwing it straight, throw it around the guard, or just try to pinpoint him to the body or right through the guard of Dib. So he outpointed him over 12 rounds. I think he could have found a round or two to give the Dib, but not many. So Tevin Farmer moves to 26-4-1 with the IBF super featherweight title. Billy Dib actually drops to 43-5, and he officially retired at the age of 32. He's had a pretty good career, a bunch of wins. Not a Hall of Famer, but he has made some money over his career. And then last night the last fight was on ESPN Plus. Last night's fight was on Facebook Watch, which was new for Golden Boy, as they had what was supposed to be a title fight between JoJo Diaz and Jesus Rojas. JoJo Diaz actually came in over the 126-pound limit at 126.6 pounds, which made him not eligible to win the WBA title, and Jesus Rojas would not lose it during the bout, if I'm not mistaken. And this was a close fight. It really depended on what you preferred. Jesus Rojas out of Puerto Rico really brought the pressure. He would walk Diaz down. Diaz gave up a lot of space, and he really put Diaz against the rope and really threw as many hard shots as he could to the body and upstairs. Not all of them hit cleanly, but they hit something. They were scoring shots. They were hard shots that were more so meant to damage and hurt JoJo Diaz if he just happened to roll or block those shots. They didn't really land super clean, but they landed with enough thud that they could be considered scoring. But JoJo Diaz, when he was able to fire from range, he was able to jab or throw the right hook. He fought out of southpaw stance, so throw the right hook downstairs, and immediately it will open up Rojas upstairs. So he would throw the right and come up with the left uppercut, or he would move and lead with the left to the body and throw over the top. But it did not deter Rojas from consistently providing a lot of pressure on JoJo Diaz. What I noticed is that he actually had hurt Rojas, I believe, in the third round and twice in the later rounds. But Rojas, again, stayed consistently putting pressure and making JoJo Diaz work. And Rojas actually looked like the bigger guy, even though JoJo Diaz is the one that didn't make weight. He couldn't really fight for whole rounds. He would give up space, go against the ropes. Then he would fire off blistering shots with 4, 5, 6 punch combinations where he would put a lot on there. And at times he would push Rojas back. But it seemed like at times that his conditioning might not have been all there, but that could have come from a bad weight cut, seeing as he did not make the 126-pound limit, as well as not really looking all that great at the weigh-in. But again, like I said, he was able to gut it out and win with the scores being 117-111, 116-112, and 115-113. I thought 116-112 and 115-113 were very close scores. They were more than fair. I think 117-111 for JoJo Diaz might have been pushing it just because the rounds were super close. And JoJo Diaz did score the cleaner shots. When he hit, he hit just from the reaction from Rojas. But Rojas brought the pressure, and he would throw in bunches, and it would keep JoJo Diaz at bay. But I think JoJo Diaz got a lot of confidence kind of coming on the inside, working back and throwing those combinations. It was almost like no one wanted to throw in between their punches. But JoJo Diaz did catch Rojas at the end of certain combinations or exchanges where he would boom, 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 and as Rojas would throw, he would kind of come back with his own right hook. He did that quite a few times in the fight if you pay attention to it. But I just thought when JoJo Diaz was able to keep his space, maintain distance, and maintain his own range in relation to Rojas, he was able to steal rounds. He just, at certain points, he couldn't put entire rounds together, which made scoring the rounds even more difficult. But yeah, that's all I got for you today. They were two under the radar but worthwhile fights to look at. That's all we got for you today. Hopefully you did catch those fights. The replays are on YouTube, so look them up. If you haven't already hit the subscribe button, hit that subscribe button. Share with your friends. Hit the like button as well. Comment down below if you have any thoughts on these two fights or any upcoming or past fights. Check out our other videos. Again, reach out to us. Facebook at Capital Combat, Instagram at Capital Combat. Same with Google+, Gmail, and Twitter. And until next time, fight on.
This is round one, and you've already lost. They don't seem to see that everything we've done is coming.